All right, what's up, everybody? We are back here again for week number 6 of the Backyard Bookies. Joined as always with me, my co-host Scott. Scott, the first month is over. You are a loser, and we have a order of business to attend to. How you feeling, bud?
A little nervous. I'm not used to this whole losing thing. Having to spin the wheel week we're month one. That's a little terrifying. The Fire Wings is definitely going to be the hard one if that lands on that. But I got to do what I got to do if I'm a big fat loser. I only got 6 right in the whole entire month, and I guess that's 20 picks. So 6 and 14, not great. So I'm gonna have to just deal with whatever I get. So spin me.
I like it. You're taking it like a man. Let's pull it up for the viewers at home. We are doing this live right now. Before we hop into our week 6 picks, we're going to click the spin and let's roll. Here we go. This is it. Moment of truth. Oh boy.
Oh man.
Somebody's getting chilly. Oh, poor
That
Scott.
was definitely the second worst one. I'll have to do that when I get home, but that's not going to be funny. I don't know what the time restraint on that is going to be, but
I'm saying
yeah.
I want 60 seconds in the water or 45. We'll give you
Okay.
45
Okay.
in the water.
We'll do that after a little session of basketball, so I actually can benefit from it. Get those legs nice and cold and get ready for another session. So yeah, we'll do it when we get back. Currently, we're in middle of nowhere, Washington, so we'll have to wait for that for a little while. But the wheels just got to do what it got to do what it says. So
all right, so that means everybody's got to tune in next week to see you fulfill this punishment. So that's how you get the audience retention right there. But it's a new month, clean slate. We still have our season scores down below 11-6, but doesn't matter for the wheel. It's all about what we do in October, prime time. We're in the middle of college. Like, this is it. This is football month. What's your first pick for us this week? Redemption time.
This is the month I go undefeated. I'm not missing a pick at all.
I like it.
We're going 4 for 4 every week. So don't even bet on me losing one of these. Don't even worry about it.
Let's go.
First pick, we're going Big Ten. Iowa and Ohio State. It seems like a pretty big game. Weird spread though, minus 18.5 towards Ohio State. I don't know. For me, Iowa plays really good against the bad teams. Other teams don't score too much on them. I just want to see what the scores have been. But, so Minnesota put up 14, Troy 21. Weirdly enough, Iowa's normally been an under team. But so far, all overs this year, which has been very, very different with a Iowa team. I don't know what the record was last year, but maybe like 2 overs the entire year. So far, it's been 4 in a row. Is wild, but still decent defense. But for me, I don't think they play very well against the really, really top tier Big Ten teams like an Ohio State, a Michigan. Definitely probably wouldn't do well against, like a USC would probably do well against them. But they 18.5 seems like a lot to me, but I feel like Ohio State can cover this game. It is only 3 touchdowns. 18.5 isn't too crazy. They can win, 41-20. It's a decent cover there. But obviously Ohio State's going to have to put up some points. But they are at home. They're in the shoe, so a little more confidence there. So first pick, I'm going to go Ohio State minus 18.5 against Iowa, who, decent defense, but not doing as good as they have been like they did last year. But their defense has been amazing. So
Iowa overs have been the thing this year. They score points and they give up points, but I like it. Ohio State's first real test. I don't know what to think about Ohio State. I think they're really good, but first real football opponent kind of gives me a little caution, but easy. I could easily see this game being 4 touchdowns.
45.5 too for the spread for the total. Definitely seems like another over game, but I'm going to take the spread.
That feels like an over game too. Now for a game, my first one tends to be an under game. How about the Armed Service Academies? We got Navy, 4-0 Navy, going to Air Force here. Air Force, not the Air Force we fell in love with last year, just defensive juggernauts out there. Spread's 9.5, man. Look at the Navy midshipmen. We also, don't forget Army, also undefeated. First time since 1945. We've seen both of these guys undefeated. But I'm not about the spread here. Navy's going to beat Air Force. I am about an over on this one. I got this one yesterday at 35.5. It's up to 37. I don't care. This is not our Navy. We know and love. Navy scores points now. 41 last week against UAB, 56 against Memphis, 38 against Temple, 49 against Bucknell. Navy can put up points, and Air Force's defense is not good this year. They gave up, Air Force's defense gave up 31 to Wyoming, 31 to Baylor, 17 to San Jose State, and 6 week 1 to I don't know who MC is, Montana Christian or something. But yeah, this is not a good Air Force team. They're 1-3 on the season. They're just bad. They're flat out bad. And Navy's legit good, and they can legit throw the football. They actually have a passing attack now. They're not so run heavy like they used to be. They can move the football. I love this over here. I think Navy's going to score some points. I think they're going to run this bad boy up. I think they get to 35 by themselves, but 35, 31-6. All I need for this one. So we got it yesterday. We had to delay recording a little bit, so that's a bummer. I'm taking Navy and Air Force over 35.5 points.
Well, my second pick is going to be Navy Air Force under 35.5.
Is this our first head-to-head?
I think that's our first head-to-head, maybe our second. I'm pretty sure it's first. I think we've had the same pick, but I don't think we've gone against each other yet. Obviously, our armed services, they don't like to score very many points. I think the stat in this one is armed service unders are 45, 10, and 2 since 2005. That is unbelievable. Hopefully what you say isn't going to happen, but
it's a new year. It's a new year, baby.
It is. Yeah. Navy last 19 matchups under has hit 15 times, 15-4. So mostly going off of history here. I don't really know much about either team, but if history likes to repeat itself, then I hope it does. Because we're going to take an under 35.5. That is a scary number. 5 touchdowns is not that many touchdowns in a football game. So in a 4-quarter football game that has 15 minutes on each side. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully they just run the ball like both teams do, and I can get the under. But first head-to-head. I just told you that I'm not missing a pick this month, so go ahead and chalk that down for a win for me.
All right, I like it. Advantage first head-to-head. It's good. It's good. It's our armed service academies because I'm rooting for points. Scott just hates our military men clearly by voting against their scoring. Yeah. No, I like it. It's the worst possible game too to go an over/under on because it's such a low number. So
it's literally a sweat for both of us. There's no fun in either one of these picks.
Just remember, Scott doesn't like fun and offense. I like fun and offense. For my second pick, though, I'm going to the Big Ten. And this team, maybe the shocker of the season for those uninformed folks.
No, you're not doing that right now.
Oh, man, we got Indiana Northwestern right here. Me and Scott are locked in, baby. This is why we don't share picks, because we're on it. I like this. This is a perfect number, too. This number is 13.5. Indiana going to Northwestern. That's under 2 touchdowns. Indiana, the 23 team in the land, and they've been good. They're flat out good. Their schedule is really favorable. They don't have a tough game until Ohio State. That's their one bad game, I think. They play Michigan, and maybe Michigan will be better by the time they face them. But they've been awesome this year. Housed Maryland last week, 42-28. Dominated Charlotte. Dominated a bad UCLA team. So they've passed every test so far. Northwestern, on the other hand, not very impressive. Lost 24-5 to Washington last week. I mean, I'm impressed they scored 5 points. That's really hard to do. They beat Elon. Who cares? Duke, they lost in overtime at home to Duke. Struggled with Miami of Ohio, 13-6, week 1. This is not a very good team all around, and India's just better. There's no home field advantage in this one. Their stadium is beautiful, the new Lakeside Stadium, but they fit about 8,000 people?
6,000 people?
Yeah, something like that. I think we went to many high school games with a far bigger crowds than that. So there's no road issue here for Indiana, and this number is just too tasty. 13.5 for the Hoosiers, and I think Indiana is going to be the shock team that could find themselves an Ohio State upset away from winning the Big Ten.
Yeah, they've basically covered. They're 4-1 against the spread. Basically, they're 5-0. I mean, the first game at 31-7, 25.5. They missed it by 2 points. The rest of them have been pretty much housings. None of them have been close. They were 4-point favorites against UCLA. They housed them. Maryland, they were 7.5-point favorites. They beat them by 2 touchdowns. Wilmington, whoever the hell that, I don't know who it is. Will something. WIL. I'll have to look that up. But they were big favorites in that one and beat them by 72 points. Western Illinois. Signetti's team, old James Madison coach. He wins football games. That's what he does. He said it himself. All I do is win. So, yeah, we had the exact same pick. I also love the 13.5, just like you said. 2 touchdowns. That's a winner. One more point. I'm thinking about it. But, we both have the same pick once again. Well, not once again, same game at least. This one we're with each other. We have to, we can root each other on for this one. I hate the armed forces, and I love Hoosiers, I guess. So, I had the exact same game. Indiana minus 13.5. I thought that number was perfect. And then last 5 games have been amazing. Northwestern not that good. At a small, literally everything you just said. At a small arena, a small stadium. Not much of a home field advantage. They might just get distracted by looking at the lake or something. I don't know, but I'm guessing not. Good football team, Indiana. They'll cover 2 touchdowns.
All right, from my next pick, this worked out well for me last week. It was the one game I got right last week. I'm going to keep riding the wave. Tennessee's still out there. They tempted me, but I'm going to keep fading Florida State because Florida State, by God, they are terrible. And when I say they are terrible, they are the worst football. I mean, I feel bad about my football team most weekends. These guys suck. They were getting 6 points against SMU. I hammered SMU. SMU ran them out the building 42-16, and it was embarrassing. Their one win is against a Cal team that some people like, but I don't think is any sort of good. It's game day this week. Hooray. We got communist versus criminals against Miami. They won 14-9. Like, what is this? They're playing Clemson, and Clemson honestly has looked really good since getting shellacked week 1 against Georgia. They get punched in the mouth, and they've looked good. They beat a really bad NC State team. They beat a really bad Stanford team. They beat a bad App State team, but they're beating them comfortably. Covered 16.5, 17, 24. They haven't really struggled at all in any of these games. Cade Klubnik has been playing a lot better than we saw week 1. And I'm just really fading the Seminoles. Now, it's not the best number in the world. It's 14.5, so it's over 2 touchdowns. But everything I've seen is Dabo's kind of got his guys figured out as far as ACC competition is concerned. And this is a really bad ACC team. I don't think Clemson's going to be a playoff threat. They might get in because they win this shitty conference, but I don't think they're a very good team. But Florida State is just so bad, and I'm just going to keep fading them if they're going to keep looking like this every week.
One of my honorable mentions was this game as well. The opposite. I had Florida State plus 14.5 because I liked that extra half point. Weirdly enough, I hate to go with Florida State because DJ sucks, but DJ is not playing in this game. He's hurt for a couple weeks, so that was really the big selling point for me. Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure he's really hurt because he's been playing so well. He's actually hurt, and they are really sad they're taking him out of this game. But that's really the whole reason I take the two touchdowns and a hook because no DJ. Maybe they have a little extra motivation to play well. Big game. They're at home. Honestly, it's mostly just DJ's out. They're at home. Give me that 2 touchdowns on a hook. That's what I was thinking. But didn't have the balls to actually take the game as one of my 4. But we'll take it as an honorable mention, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not with Florida State anymore, and Clemson has looked pretty scary since their first loss against Georgia. So putting up 50, 60 points past couple games, I think. Let's see, 40, 59, and 66. They're looking pretty scary. So could very well be a shellacking, just like they have been doing. So didn't have the balls to pick them, but let's hope I'm right.
Probably a good call there. Give us your other honorable mentions and then your upset of the week.
Yeah, I was actually on the fence about picking this game. I thought it was too many points. UCLA plus 28 in Happy Valley against Penn State. Felt like it's 4 touchdowns is quite a bit. Penn State's normally a defensive-minded team, but they've been playing really well, so could be a beat down there too. Have Bowling Green minus 15. They look pretty damn good against two pretty good teams. A&M's okay, but looked pretty good against them. And then they played
Penn State looked really good against Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State. I think they lost by maybe a field goal or something.
They were winning going into the fourth quarter, I believe.
Yeah, so they played pretty well against them as well. 15, we'll take it. I have the Florida State game. Got that. This was more of a what kind of line is this game? Washington minus 2.5 versus Michigan at home. Number 10 team Michigan going to Spokane. I don't know. I watched the Washington game last week. They didn't look amazing, but getting 2 points, somebody knows something that I don't. We'll swallow those points and take Washington. Duke, Georgia Tech over 55 or under 55. I just don't think there's that many points in that game. I really don't think Duke's that good, even though they're undefeated. Georgia Tech, we know Haynes King. I think is he hurt actually? I'm not sure he's hurt. Might be hurt.
Duke ratted me last week. I had them losing to my upset. Yeah. They were down 20 and came back and won.
I have Utah State, Boise State over 66.5. Two pretty high-scoring teams going against each other. Boise State, what can you say about JT? He's the man. I saw his over/under is like 189 yards or something on the ground. It's just wild. That guy can run. That guy's.
I think he's got like 200 more yards than the next closest rusher.
It's absurd. That guy's incredible. So he'll run all over Utah State, and they'll score a lot in that one. And that is it, actually. And then I have my upset coming up.
All right, just give me your upset. I'll run mine later. Just give me
okay, please don't pick this one because I feel like you might have it. SMU Louisville.
No, do not have this one.
Okay, finally we've got one that's
juicy. We got a juicy one. We got a live one, folks.
You got a little juicy one? This one's 6.5 with Louisville. They're at home. Both decent teams. Louisville's 3-1, 22nd ranked team in the nation. I think they're coming off they're coming off a loss against Notre Dame, actually.
Yeah.
At Notre Dame. SMU, like I said a couple podcasts ago, I watched them against Nevada. They look pretty terrible. They changed quarterbacks, look pretty good now. They beat the hell out of your Florida State Seminoles you love so much. At home, TCU, they put up 66. Not great on the defensive side, putting up 42, but 108 points in one game is a little wild. But tough game against BYU. I watched that game. That was tough for both teams. That was a pretty crappy game. But yeah, SMU's looked really good. Obviously, they're going to be on the road. I'd probably take SMU plus. SMU plus 6.5 is a pretty good bet too, because it's only it's one touchdown spread's not too bad. Yeah, I like SMU in this one. Other than that,
I
just
like
hoping
this.
I'm right.
Yeah, I like this. I like the ponies. I think they're
this
good.
One,
they were
ponies
protected.
are. I had them at plus 205. Right now, it looks like it's down to 200.
It's close enough.
It is either way.
Yeah, it's 200.
It's over 200. So yeah, it's 200 right now. So ponies plus 200 for my upset.
I like this. Louisville was not good against Notre Dame last week. Notre Dame dominated them in the first quarter, and they kind of just moseyed on into a win. SMU can score points. This was a highly touted offense coming into the year. Like you said, didn't work out early. Switch quarterbacks. Now it's humming like it's supposed to be. There's a lot of talent there. And I don't know. Louisville just doesn't do anything for me. They kind of are a whatever football team. For my honorable mentions, our favorite love on this show, I got Tennessee as an honorable mention, laying 13.5, I believe, at Arkansas. Yeah, 13.5 at Arkansas. It's under 2 touchdowns. It's another good number. Tennessee coming off a bye. Arkansas is not good. I watched them last week pretty closely, and they're pretty bad at football in Arkansas. USC, I like in a nice I shouldn't say bounce back spot. They should have blown it, but going to Minnesota again, laying 8.5, that's okay. Minnesota's not good. They were dominated for 90% of that Michigan game, and I don't think Michigan's very good. it's a different matchup of styles. I think USC kind of figured something out in that second half against Wisconsin. Like, oh, this is how we kind of have to beat Big Ten teams. Like, we have to kind of change up our approach to them. And for my upset, Big Ten game again. God, I'm just all over the Big Ten this week. Rutgers and Corn, baby. Rutgers at Corn. Nebraska 4-1. Rutgers, another sleeper in the Big Ten, 4-0, looking good. Greg Schiano is kind of the man of New Jersey. Both his stints at Rutgers have been like really good. This was a program that was awful at football. Schiano comes in, they're good. He leaves, they're awful again. He comes back, and Rutgers is a competent, good football team. Dominated Washington last week, 21-18. Like, I know Washington kind of shot themselves in the foot a couple times, but that's part of the Rutgers way. Weird Friday night game. They're going to Corn, and Nebraska really hasn't impressed me at all. You know, they got beat pretty handily. I shouldn't say they lost in overtime to Illinois, and Illinois is okay, but they shouldn't have been giving up 31 points to Illinois. They beat a shitty Purdue team, but they were struggling with Purdue. I believe that game was 10-10 at halftime. They end up winning 28-10. Yeah, they beat Colorado early. That's their big win. Colorado's looking a lot better than they did when they played Nebraska. They actually know how to run the football there in Boulder. So I'm going to take Rutgers. I think this is a prime upset spot. They're getting 7 points, so that's a really good line on top of it, just getting the touchdown there. But they're up to plus 210 now. So Rutgers plus 210 at Nebraska. I think this is going to be an ugly, low-scoring game. Patrick Mahomes hasn't been, he's only a freshman. Schiano's going to throw out some NFL-looking packages at him. They're going to slow this game down. They're going to muck it up, and that's exactly the kind of football game you want for an upset. Don't love that it's on the road, but I think all said and done, I think Rutgers wins a very ugly football game.
Well, you didn't even mention one of the biggest things in that game. Windy as hell in that game. We're looking at Dylan Raiola is going to be throwing the ball a lot. Well, that's what he's been doing. They're very, very dependent on him. It says like 22 to 40 mile per hour winds in that game.
That's real wind.
Lincoln.
That's real wind.
Anything that's not something you can get around easily. That's some big time wind you got there, especially if it's like in your face. Good luck to you. I watched the game against Washington, and that running back for Rutgers is a real deal too. Manungai, I think is his name.
Yeah, I think they had like 30 carries.
He's probably like
touches.
He's probably a top 3 running back in the Big Ten, to be honest. He's the real deal. Can definitely see Rutgers winning this one, especially if freshman Raiola tries to throw the ball a lot.
Ball goes backward. Ball's going backwards when he throws it.
Even have no over under here. If I saw 41.5, I'm like, there's no way there's only going to be that many points, but. Didn't realize it's supposed to be super windy too. It's really Raiola's probably the biggest game he's played so far with elements in a decent team. So, I could definitely see Rutgers pulling this one off. It's plus 210, a little better than mine. So, would be pretty cool if we parlayed that one and got both of those right. Maybe. So
I like that.
Might think about it.
That's juicy, right?
Root for both of us.
All right.
But I like that pick.
That's not the point of this show, but all right. Why don't you run down your picks for this week? And
I already have a big consequence coming up here soon, so might as well root for both of us. Week 1.
Go team.
For my first one, I got Ohio State minus 18.5 versus Iowa. I got Indiana. We both have Indiana minus 13.5 against Northwestern, and we both have Navy Air Force. I have the under 35.5. And you have the under. I mean, you have the over as well. And then, my upset of the week, Ponies SMU plus 2.5, 205 or plus 200, whichever one you get against Louisville.
It's a good number is what it is. All right, my first one, like you said, head-to-head, Navy Air Force over 35.5. I like Indiana minus 35 or minus 13.5. Minus 35. Screw it. Minus 13.5 at Northwestern. We both have that one. Clemson minus 14.5 at FSU. And Rutgers, get the gabagool out to whack the Corn in Lincoln. that's going to do it for us this week. If you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video. Hit that subscribe button. We got new sports content for you guys every single day. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get all sorts of access to cool perks, help support us, allows us to keep doing this show, help keep the lights on. If you want to see one of these games, go see your team live. Check out SeatGeek.com. Use code AfterTheReview for $20 off your first purchase. That's SeatGeek.com. Code AfterTheReview for $20 off your first purchase. And be back next week to see Scott get real chilly in his ice bath punishment. See y'all then.